all the carriers are educating us, I realized like, man, what I'm doing is, I would say kind of shady, because it wasn't really going in. I wasn't an expert. I was just reading out of a book, like debate. But smart's not gonna get me there if you don't know what it feels like. Like, it's hard to be a leader and say,
it is.
Yeah, just get out of your car when it's raining and snowing and sleeting and go visit Miss Mamie in questionable.
Yeah. The house is falling apart.
The house is falling apart. It smells like cat
Yep.
urine, and there's cockroaches all over the table.
Absolutely.
If you don't know what that feels like, it's hard for me to take advice from you.
Right.
No, it's terrible. But
Right.
watching her family go through this experience in the hospitals, and language barriers, and multiple people trying to manage care and be a great advocate, when you're emotionally drained because you're losing your loved one, and the healthcare system not doing whatever it takes, pissed me off.
A lot of people know you, Emily. Like, I feel like a ton of people in the industry, if you say Emily Trevino, we know.
Hopefully good things.
Hopefully. So I think it's very, it's very polar opposite. I feel like you're someone that people cannot be indifferent about. People are either going to love you, or you're not going to be their cup of tea, you know, and that's okay. Exactly, and that's okay. But can you tell us, for the very few that don't know who you are or how you started in this industry, can you give us like a little brief summary of Bravo Health and Copeland, like just everything that you've done in the industry?
Yes, so I actually started as a broker. I put the broker, so I know what that feels like, because that's when CMS changed all the laws and the marketing regulations. Like, we didn't used to have that. Like, we used to just be like, yeah, whatever.
You could door knock and go sell.
And honestly, I have good intentions for people, so I thought what we were doing was right. They're like, yeah, you just go over this book, go over the benefits, have them sign. And I'm like, wow, they have zero copay for a primary care doctor? Like, that's good. Like, I gotta pay $75. So the benefits looked really good. But after like the CMS guidelines hit, and then I'm like, why are they doing this? And then all the carriers are educating us. I realized like, man, what I'm doing is, I would say kind of shady, because it wasn't really going in. I wasn't an expert. I was just reading out of a book, like debate. We were just reading an article. So it wasn't like very meaningful. Like, I didn't feel like I was an expert. And so I struggled a lot. And back then, FMOs used to have to pay us. Like, the carriers paid them, they had to pay us. Well, my FMO didn't pay me.
Oh. Wait, are they still around?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're not going to talk about it. Yeah.
But I feel like it's always a rite of passage for successful insurance agents to go through a terrible experience of some kind, whether it's through financial or partnerships don't make sense, but I think who their uplines are matters, and I don't think the first one you pick is always going to be the one that's going to take you to the finish line, whatever your finish line is.
Right.
And I think that's where people kind of get mixed up.
But do you think, I have so many questions, but no, I'm not, I don't want to interrupt you.
Okay, long story short, I went from that to, I struggled because I wasn't getting paid, I had to get a job. The manager, Karen Bailey from Bravo Health, remembered me from her training because I asked a lot of questions, because I'm inquisitive in nature. And some people don't like that either, but whatever. So she remembered that I was kind of sharp. She hired me. It was life-changing for me because I was just trying to make $45,000 a year, and I made a ton of money that year. We were killing it. And I learned a lot. I learned about provider marketing when not anybody else was doing that.
Right.
We rolled that out to the broker community. And that was life-changing for a lot of brokers, including many that you know. They did not know how to do that until myself and Joanna she's now at Centene, her and I taught people how to do that. Now,
she worked at Bravo with you.
Yeah, she worked at Bravo with me. But after that, I went there, I was acquired by HealthSpring, then Cigna. I left. I didn't like that I could only represent one product line, but also too, I hated corporate. So it wasn't for me, but from there I went to go work for an FMO. They've been acquired by a private equity company now, but after I was there for a few years, I didn't agree with their practices. I felt like some of it was not compliant, to be honest. Some of it was it just wasn't for me, and I didn't like it. Again, there were some decisions that were made there that I now, with my experience, understand why they were made, but I still thought I was meant for something else. So with no money in my bank account and not liking the situation I was in, I just quit. Like from one day to the next. It was weird. And it was scary. I would never want to do that again. I would never want to do that again. I mean, it turned out okay, but I don't know. I know I could do it again if I had to. I just don't want to. But then I started my agency in 2014. And in 2020, one of my downline partners at that time she was capped out and wanted more. So her and I joined forces and we started Wise Insurance and Wise Partners. And that's what we
give her a shout out. I love her.
Yeah, I love Kim. Kim Win. On Win. Kim on Win. So, and it's great because that was all by accident. When I met her, I was working at this FMO, and when I met her, I got her plugged into something that was life-changing for not just her, but her family. And meaning her brothers, her parents, it's incredible what an industry or meeting the right people can do for you. And she's taught me a lot as well. I'm not, definitely it's not one way. She's taught me a lot about other things, like taxes.
Kim's brilliant.
She's really smart.
She's super smart.
And she's a very good business partner. I know people that go into partnerships and they're so quick to give up equity in their business because they want to be a part of something. And disastrous. And when you have a business partner, you are it's another marriage. And it is, you go through your ups and downs, and she has her and I, we're yin and yang, so we're polar opposites, but it works really well. Yeah. So thank God she's a great partner.
I love her.
So you can't have her. Nobody can have her.
In what you talked about, I have a million things that I want to dive into. One of them is, because one thing that I'm not very good at is time management. I struggle with time management.
Everybody
and
does.
You're someone that I see traveling the country. You are a part of several boards. You run your agency. You train. I mean, we have some of our North Star contracts with Wise Insurance, and I ask you for a training on ancillary products, and you're here doing a training for the team.
Yes.
How do you manage to, or what's the decision-making process when you're okay, this is something that I'm gonna, that is worth my time, worth my investment in time, because time is our most, expensive commodity. So how do you decide? How do you figure out what is worth your time, what's not?
So time management is interesting because it ebbs and flows with whatever phase you are in your business. So my general rule of thumb is I look for new opportunities in the morning and existing opportunities in the afternoon. But I am very respectful of my calendar. So over time, I used to just meet with anybody with a pulse, just because that's what I needed at the time. But now I can be more stingy with my time, and I have to understand, okay, does this help me get to where my goals are, right? So if I need, and also too, I'm at the mercy of other people's calendars. So if I'm trying to recruit a new agency to bring on board, I mean, I can't be I can only meet with you Monday through Friday in the mornings. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna kind of work with them based on their schedule because they're busy doing things too. So a general rule of thumb is I work on new opportunities in the morning and maintain existing relationships in the afternoon. It's something that I learned through my health coach, JT Fox, that's who taught me about that. But really, I am available because there's certain things that are important to me. They're a priority. When I go on vacation, I'm still available. It's something that my spouse and my family is okay with because I still also allow time for that. Right. You ain't messing with me during dinner time. I can tell you that. But it's hard to manage your time, but I definitely have over-leveraged myself in the past. But also it's because I'm looking for things. So I used to travel time to go to all kinds of conferences because I'm looking for the next best thing, the next best opportunity, and also to get information. So I go to a lot of my wealth coaches events because he's teaching me about things that I need to know. So for example, when we were in this, all these agencies are getting bought out in our business, I was like, wow, he had an event about mergers and acquisitions. I went and I went to several events trained by somebody who has billions of dollars in transactions with mergers and acquisitions, so that I could learn how to do that, so that when I sit across the table from anybody who either wants to do that, or if I want to do that, I know, and I'm educated. I'm an educated buyer and I'm an educated seller. So sometimes I just kind of go with the flow, but it has to make sense towards my goals. So you almost have to start out with the finish line and work your way back.
Right.
Because like now I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna travel, I try to travel because I have obligations here in Houston, not just my family, but for our local business, our local insurance agency. So I wanna make sure that I'm maximizing that. So when I travel, I try to do everything I can in that week that I'm gone. So if I go to another city, I'm meeting with new people there, new opportunities. Like I have to go to Chicago for an ICRA. So while I'm there, my days are packed. So I'm not going there with just kind of like, oh, I'm gonna go
sightsee and
go do this and
drink.
do that. I am there to work. And that's how I
So
maximize my
I'm
time.
hearing, number one, networking is a huge aspect of your
Yes.
business and how you do your thing. I'm also hearing that which is I love, because I'm that kind of person. I never think or act like I'm the smartest person in a room, no matter what room it is. There's always opportunity for learning and growth, and the fact that as long as you've been in the industry, as long as you've had this successful agency, you have a coach, you have a wealth coach.
Yes.
So that shows that constant learning and that constant personal development that I am a huge fan of. I'm always reading, looking at videos, looking at different perspectives. So this is a perfect segue to what I wanted to ask next, because as you were introducing yourself, you talked about your experience with an FMO that was not the best decision. Let's just call it that.
Yeah.
So I think this is one of them. When I left my job at Amerigroup as a broker manager, I keep saying Amerigroup still, and I'm sorry.
That's where you worked at that time.
When I worked at Amerigroup and I left, one of the biggest decisions when I left was where to place my contracts. Like picking my uplines was really difficult. I felt like I was being bombarded by people in the industry that I had good relationships with, but it was so stressful for me. Like everything seemed true. I would talk to one person and I'd be like, yeah, this sounds really good. Then I'd talk to another one and it'd be like, well, maybe this is it. Maybe that person did. Like, it was just so stressful. And now that when I see people doing this, people in our industry that have left carriers or just agents that are barely starting, I want to almost like write a manual on how to pick the proper upline, because it's a big deal, or the right upline can make or break your career. So
they can.
If you
people don't take it serious enough, they just here it is.
Or so and so tell me, or like this is like I was friends with this person, or this is even a family member, or where it's not necessarily where you should be. I mean, I say that, my sister is part of my team, but how would
does not apply to her.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I work really hard for my team. So tell me, if a family member, someone that you love, like don't tell me like.
No, I'm honest.
Someone that you don't love. Someone that you really care about.
It doesn't really matter if it was somebody I care about or don't. You're going to get the same advice.
Okay.
That's how I am.
But if you were really invested in this person's success and you were not in the industry, but you had all this knowledge, what would be some of the key points that you would say you need to look at this, that, the other?
So I am a firm believer that you should know what you're looking for first. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, then how do you know the person that you're talking to can deliver what your
you're brand
thing
new.
is?
You're brand new in the industry.
I know, but brand new in the industry, there's so many videos and so much content out there that you can do a little bit of research.
Okay, so research.
But
Step
do
one.
a little bit of
Love
research on what's available, right? But this is what I would say. I would say that it helps when you know where you're wanting to go. So if you're like, I don't know what I want to do, I don't know how much money I want to make, I can already tell you that's probably not an agent that would be a good fit for me to work with, because I need someone who can have an answer to very simple questions. If you're like, I just got a license and I just want to work, I don't know what I want to make. Well, that's hard, because if I don't know what goal you're trying to work towards, how do you want me to support you? Like, how am I going to know that I'm doing good how am I going to measure myself?
Right.
To know that, or our agency to know that you're doing well. So I like to start with people's at the moment, and this always changes, I like to know like how much, and I asked you this too, how much do you need to make every month to justify you doing this? It's the first question I ask. They will tell me, so I can pull it out of people because they don't even know. So I ask them that, and then I ask them, then we got to put some money on top because you got to pay for marketing and stuff.
Right.
So then, okay, so let's just say you need to make $5,000 a month. Okay, now you need, let's say, $2,000 a month to do a little bit of marketing. Okay, and if you don't have any money, that's okay too. We got to figure that out. But then we start there and then say, okay, well, this is how much you have to do to get there. So then we bracket into like, how much time do you have a week? When people are working full time, that's really hard.
Yep.
So what I don't like is I don't like people that, one, have never done this before. I was approached by an FMO many years ago. They were new. And the CEO had never sold a policy before. And they've never, and nothing against him, a smart person, very smart person. We actually had a great conversation. I don't know if they're nice or not, I don't care either, but they were smart. That's what I remembered. But smart's not gonna get me there if you don't know what it feels like. Like, it's hard to be a leader and say,
it is.
Yeah, just get out of your car when it's raining and snowing and sleeting and go visit Miss Mamie in questionable
The house
home.
is falling apart.
The house is falling apart. It smells like cat urine, and there's cockroaches all over the table.
Absolutely.
If you don't know what that feels like, it's hard for me to take advice from you.
Right.
So personally, I like people who've done it before. Okay? And then I also like people who are innovative, that are doing things differently or have a different mindset. Like, hey, look, we need to try different things for you. And that are invested in knowing the different business models. Like, I don't want to work with someone that only knows how to do call centers or only know how to do LOAs or only know how to do 1099 distribution. I want somebody that's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna help you no matter which phase of your business you wanna be in. Because I know as an agency owner that we have an internal sales team, we have our external distribution partnerships, we have life, annuities, group health that we're getting into, we have Medicare, we have ACA, we have ancillary. So we know how to solve these problems for our agents when they finally do wanna go into a different path. Because there's gonna be life insurance agents that are like, I'm sick of this, I wanna do health. But if this agency owner doesn't know anything about that, then they gotta go find somebody else. And I feel like it's our obligation as leaders to make sure that we maximize opportunities for our agents and that we understand the various business models. And saying, well, I don't know, I don't do that, is not an excuse. To me, that is a limiting belief. And that means you're not willing to go and find the answer. And I'm not that kind of person.
So the agent should do some research on the industry if they've never done it.
Yeah, just how contracts work.
Have a plan on where they want to be. And
what
if
they
it's
expect.
just money, right? That's like, if it's
at least
just,
know how much money you want to make.
Right? And then, you know, the agency or FMO principal or whoever can walk them through like how the money works. And so then you gotta, because I remember Emily and I had a conversation one time because I was really frustrated one day, and I call Emily and I'm like, you know, I've been getting these agents that have not sold anything in places where they've been before, like where their AEP app count was, 7 and 8 and 12. And then they come to North Star and we get, boots on the ground, we get training and showing and events and showing them everything. They start selling 20 apps a month, 15 apps a month.
Exactly.
Then they feel like, wait a minute, I can do this. I can do this on my own. And then they go somewhere else. So I called Emily one day, and I this is something, honestly, it's been one of the most helpful pieces of advice I've ever gotten. Because you told me that I needed to create an avatar of the type of agent that I wanted to work with. And you said, do not take anybody.
No matter what.
No matter what. Like, no matter if you have no agents and you're first starting out. Because at the beginning, I felt like I had to prove myself. I came from the carrier world. Everyone was, I think nobody thought.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So you're like, I need to prove to who.
Absolutely.
Ever that I can recruit agents and I can do this better, because you almost kind of feel like, because I came from the carrier world, and it almost felt like people wanted you to fail.
Yeah,
like,
they do.
You don't know anything about this. You're not going to be better than me. And it's so weird.
Or everyone thinks that you should be under them. Nobody ever thinks when you leave a carrier that, wait a minute, maybe I should be with you. Very few. But anyway, so so you want to take people at the beginning because you think like, I'm barely starting, I need some bodies. But you told me, and that ends up in the long run being worse. But you told me create an avatar. Do not, no matter what, take anybody that does not fit the description of that avatar. So could we say that when an agent is looking for an upline?
Yes, they should create an avatar of what they expect from the upline. And here's the deal, all the uplines provide training, so scratch that off. Because if they don't offer that, then definitely it's a red flag. Let's just talk about the red flags.
Okay.
Red flag number 1, they've never done this before. Meaning they have agents and downlines that do it, but they don't really sit in the houses and know how to do it, right? Red flag number 2, they're not very transparent about how the money works. Like to me, when we sit down with a new agent, I will ask them a series of questions. I'm gonna fact find because I wanna see if they fit my avatar. And if they don't, then I will at least educate them a little bit, okay? And I tell them what an LOA is. I tell them what a 1099 direct pay is. I talk about structures, like eventually you want an LLC. Like it's a quick 5-minute conversation. And that little piece of education is helpful to everybody. And that information's everywhere on the internet. So when you do your research, it's not a surprise. But the thing is you want to know what you expect from someone. I expect someone to answer my call, okay? Then write that down. That means they need to have the team and the support to do so. So if you're meeting in front of an agency owner who's smaller in size and has their own book of business and they're in appointments all day, they cannot answer your call. Then that agent that's not a good pairing.
Right.
And by the way, that doesn't mean that agency owner is wrong. It just means they cannot provide that service.
And the model is different. Right.
The model's different. It's okay. It's okay to say, hey, look, I am also building a book of business. This is how I survive as well. And I'm also showing other people how to do it. That doesn't mean they're a bad business owner. It just means that if you expect someone to answer your phone call 24/7,
it might not happen.
Which, by the way, that's kind of an unrealistic expectation too, even for big organizations, right? So, but what is expectation? What does training mean to you? I ask people that too. What does that mean? Well, it means that because between AHIP and all the Medicare certifications, you should know everything about Medicare before you even meet with me for a training. So what does that mean? What kind of sales background do they have? So that's a red flag number 3. These FMOs don't do sales training. They're like, and they expect the carrier reps to do it. The carriers need to hold the FMOs or the top hierarchies accountable and say, hey, why are we doing what we're paying you to do? That's what I think. Because back in the day, we didn't do like trainings like that because it wasn't productive. It's busy work.
Yeah.
Like your carrier reps going to all these like broker rollouts for AP, they're busy there, and I'm sitting here having a question I need to answer, and I can't get an answer because they're training them on some benefits that this agent can read in the summary of benefits, and I'm like, here, I have a serious problem.
Yeah, this is a network issue. This is a contract issue.
Yeah, like I have a big issue and I can't do it. But where agents get caught up is they're doing a lot of service work, thinking, well, I'm busy. Or they're going to a bunch of carrier
service
trainings.
work. That's a whole conversation that you just
Yeah, we can dissect that another day. But the thing is it's time management. So like if you're trying to make $100,000 a year and you're doing a bunch of service work or you're going to a bunch of trainings but you're not doing anything with it, the reality with training is agents don't have a problem. It's not that they don't know the material. They don't know how to communicate the material comfortably. And they're scared to do it. So you need to give them over that hump. What I have found is if you can get an agent, brand new agent, from contracted, appointed, certified, appointed, and in an in-home appointment within 30 days, they will be successful. You got to get them through that hump. But if they are just over here doing a bunch of busy work, like, oh, I went to this training, I watched this webinar. Okay, but that doesn't make you any money. Like, you need to just jump in and go. And it's okay to fall flat on your face. It's important to do it.
Right.
That's what builds grit. That's what's going to determine if you're successful.
My very first appointment ever in Medicare, about 9 years ago, I I was with an FMO, and I got into the industry because my partner, who's been licensed since 2007. So at that point, she worked for an FMO, and so we lucked out because I was in a smaller market. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anything. But we were able to join a local United Healthcare call blitz. A lot of people remember those call blitzes. Yep. I think those call blitzes built and formed a lot of us as agents.
Because it forced them to work.
So go to the call blitz, and she makes one call just to kind of like show me. I'm the type of person, if you show me once, then okay, I got it, I can do it. So then
most people aren't like that though.
And it's okay.
It's okay. Either one's good.
So then I'm calling, and we set up several appointments. Like I think we set up like 7 appointments. It was a small market. You know how good small markets are. And so I have my first appointment, and she's like, okay, well, let's go. I'll go with you to your first appointment. And I'm like, great, that's awesome, because I have no idea what I'm going to say. So we get there, and it's a Spanish customer. Like she only speaks Spanish. And my partner's Spanish is not, she understands and, but
Well, but the other thing with Spanish or any language is that it's hard to translate this entire industry in another language if you haven't done it before.
Yeah, because it's cultural, it's so many things.
Yeah.
So the fact that she just couldn't do it, it just made me have to do it.
Yeah.
And then when it was done, it was like, oh. There were things where I was in the appointment that I would ask, like, wait, I don't know this, or she'd tell me in English, then I'd translate it. And the lady was, I think, second language members are a lot more forgiving when it comes to language than other people. So she was really forgiving about the fact that I didn't know certain things and that I was asking for guidance, but it just forced me to just get out there and have to do it. So I think sometimes,
well, but the thing is too, is like,
that's the best strategy.
You know more than the person sitting in front, unless they're like some NASA engineer that did extensive research on Medicare, which that has not happened a whole lot.
Right.
It does happen in Houston because we have a lot of those. But you still know more than they do.
Person. Yeah.
So it's like having to build that confidence for the agent's important.
Now, but tell me something, and I've talked about this before. I talk about this a lot because I feel like there's also a misconception in our industry that it is the agent that does the agency. Like, I feel like when you're trying to recruit an agent, it's almost like agents are like, why should I give you my contracts? Like it's almost like the agents are doing the agency the favor of placing their contract. Like, come with me. Like, I'm gonna give you all this stuff. And I honestly think, I'm not saying it's completely one-sided because that's not what I'm saying. But I have seen firsthand the impact that a good agency can make in an agent's career. Yeah. So how do you do you think I'm off? Like, do you do you see that?
I think one, you're gonna have to really look at who you're surrounding yourself with and who you're attracting and why. Mm-hmm. Because I used to do that. I'm like, why am I always attracting these people? And it's you. Like, you got to figure out what is it about my messaging? Back to the
avatar.
It's going back to the avatar. If you want to attract this agent, how are you coming off? Right? I want very serious business owners who want to grow their business. It doesn't have to be $1 million business. It doesn't have to be multi-million. But I want someone who takes their business serious.
Absolutely.
So if you don't know how much money you want to make every month, you're probably not taking this very serious. Mm-hmm. And our personalities are not going to match. Right. So one, I would wonder what are you putting out to attract these people? But also keep in mind, you have a very big network here in Houston, and there are a lot of agents that are like that because they've been sought after. Mm-hmm. I recruited for agents from all over the country, and they're not like that.
Right.
But the type of people that I'm attracting know the type of person I am. So the people who are calling me or that are engaging with me, they know that I'm not gonna.
Yeah. And Houston is a tough market. Houston is a very competitive market in every aspect.
But here's the thing: it's a partnership, right? So I don't go to any of my top of hierarchies and be like, woo me, darling, give me the most. You make no money. You will not go far at all if you have that mentality. I have an expectation of what I want from my upline partners, or top of hierarchies, And I have an expectation that I deliver what I plan to deliver to them. And as long as we both operate, it is a business partnership. Maybe not an equity split, but it is a partnership.
But think about it, like you're talking about equity split. I think that the reason why there is that, misconception or that culture of like, the agents are doing us the favor is because I think agents that don't really know the business very well, I'm not trying to be offensive in any way, but they think that the agency is getting rich on their, like, from, their hard work and labor from their backs. They don't realize how much it costs us to market, to get a person in our door at a storefront, to train them, like how valuable time is when we're training and onboarding and all of this. So the fact that they think that we're getting rich over, their sales,
to be fair, in the past, that is how it was. Like there was FMOs that are like, they would just recruit you, throw all the paper on the wall and see what stuck. If you stuck around, great. If you didn't, whatever. They didn't care. There wasn't like an
expectation for
a partnership there. It was just
agency.
more of like, hey, I'm going to offer you a contract. You're going to go sell. I make all my money. Good luck. And they didn't do all these like rollouts and all these dinners. Like they just did that for their top producing agencies, and that was it. But it wasn't like what it is today. So now there's a requirement. You have to provide some form of technology, whether the agent uses it or not. Like we're using AI probably more so than most FMOs in many capacities. And we have created efficient systems for people to use so they can move faster, they can maintain a quality book of business while they're still selling, without having to hire an admin. Or if they have admin or support, they can reallocate them to a higher skilled job.
Admins are, I'm a fan.
I am a fan of them. But here's the thing. The reason why certain agents in this market feel that way is because that's how it used to be. Now, I will say the days of, like if you want all of me, I want all of you kind of thing. Do you want all of me? Okay, that's my ADD. But so like for us, like I don't just offer, just bring me your United contract, that's it. No, we're an all or nothing.
Right,
remember?
Right. Yep,
when we talked and you felt some kind of way about that, but I said, I know, but you want all of my partnership, but you only want to give me one contract, but I don't do that. So my avatar is, I'm going to give you all of us and you're going to give me all of you. And as far as,
I feel like that's also because when you're trying to pick where to go, and when I first started, I had, I was a broker at the beginning, and I had everything in one place, and that place really didn't do much for me. So then I went into, I was a captive agent for Humana for a while, and which was wonderful because the training that I got there made me realize, man, I knew nothing when I was a broker. So when I left, AmeriGroup, I thought, because I just thought it'd be best because I need to try it out. And then really quickly I realized that that's just, honestly, it's a mess. It's so confusing. It's unfair, and I don't like being unfair. I was getting so much support from the people that I had, I don't want to say picked, but the people that I had partnered with, certain people that I'd partnered with, and I thought I felt guilty, offering products from that I had somewhere else. It's not fair.
Well,
why am I, if this person's giving me an opportunity, how dare I sell a product that I don't have with them? And so,
not everything's like that, but that's a good way to think.
That's the way it should be.
But here's the deal, sometimes you don't know, and so you're like, okay, I'm gonna do these contracts. I would say not to partner with more than two, because it is hard to figure out where your contracts are. Because also too, if you're partnering with a sub-agency, meaning they're an SGA, MGA, GA, they have different hierarchies for different products. So it's good to only maybe, if you're a brand new agent, it's okay to go and say, hey, I'm gonna split my products, I'm gonna do two, I'm gonna do half here and half here, because I wanna see what the experience is like. By the way, I've done that, and I'm in that right now. I have two agencies. I have one under a partner under Integrity, and I have one under a partner with AmeriLife. And I'm happy with both. So I was hoping I was going to be unhappy, and then I can consolidate. But I'm actually happy with both organizations. The issue that you will run into
with the same product, like, do you have Medicare products here?
Yes,
Medicare products
I have
there?
Medicare Advantage products.
See,
for my internal sales under one, and I have my 1099s under another.
Okay. But so it's still separated, kind of.
It's still separated, but it's a mess. Now, luckily, it's an organized chaos in my head, but the issue you run into is what you can leverage. So it's hard because now I'm two tiny agencies rather than one big agency because we're split in half. Right? So it's hard to say, hey, top of hierarchy, I want all of you, but I've only given you this one agency.
That's true.
And it's hard to leverage. Now, luckily, both of them know what type of value I bring, and they respect me and I respect them, and they have all delivered on their expectations. And so I'm not unhappy with either of them. I was really hoping I would be, but I'm not.
I did not like having my stuff. So now I have all my Medicare in one place.
But I'll tell you, I never feel guilty about it. And you want to know why? You know why I don't feel guilty about it? Because you don't know what you don't know, so you're testing it out. You're going to try it out for a season or a year. I always give everybody a good year, because by the time you do your contracts and you get going, give them a good solid year, one good AEP, and then you can make a decision if you're in the right spot or not. Now, if you're like me and you're blessed being with two really great organizations and you're like, damn, what am I gonna do? But then it's a different conversation. But I wouldn't feel guilty about it, because you need to know what you're getting yourself into, because when you go all in with somebody and they don't deliver, it sucks. Or if they go out and recruit your agents from under you, or they go and cut you off your technology, which by the way, red flag number gabillion of an FMO is, do you own access to your technology? That's a really big thing. Because let's say you're in that situation where you're like, well, I have these contracts here and I have these contracts here. Well, then if you're going to use an enrollment platform, you have to have two different links. No problem. Is it inconvenient? Maybe, but is it a deal breaker? No. But then when you decide, hey, I'm really happy over here, I'm going to move everything over there. Guess who no longer has access to this data?
Right.
You don't. So agents really need to get into a position, if they really want to build a book of business and really want to take their business serious, they have got to own their own access to information. Are you going to ever own your data truly? No. Everybody has access to that data.
It's the carriers.
So it's the carriers' data, the enrollment platforms, the FMOs. No one really ever truly owns it. But I would very much encourage that you own your own access. And that's why I like platforms like Health Sherpa that are agnostic. They're like, hey, come on, we got most of the carriers. That way you can provide your upline that you're affiliated with by carrier, rather than, I have to go use this Sunfire enrollment or this Connection enrollment or whatever. So in my opinion, I think one of the most important things to consider when looking for an FMO, because I know you're going to chop this up, most important thing is the personality has to be a good fit. Remember, you're sitting in front of a salesperson. The recruiter's a salesperson.
Right.
They're going to tell you all the goods, right? So you need to know what you expect from them, and you don't need to tell them what you expect from them. They should be talking about it in their introduction of who they are and what they plan to do. So if you remember,
because if you say you're very right. Because if you say, I'm looking for someone that blank.
Yeah, we can do that.
Me.
I can do that.
I got this. Oh, we do this all the time. Absolutely.
Yeah, so, and I don't want that. So you could just say, so what I do is when I meet with an agent, I do some fact finding to understand if I can even help them, if I'm willing to help them, or they may be a good fit, but under one of my agencies. Right? So maybe they require a little bit more time and hand-holding, and that may not be something I want to do. So I'll say, hey, instead of this, I'm going to actually align you with this person. Also, I'm pretty good at connecting people and who are good personality fits. So I could say, okay, you're a remote agent, you want to do this? Okay, I'm going to put you with this agency. They do great remote work. Oh, you want to build a call center? I got somebody. Oh, you want to do final expense and annuities? I have somebody who's good for that, So I have a lot of agency partners that are very diversified. So if I meet an agent that I think would be best fit under them, I will.
And what happens if, because this has happened to me, what happens if after that someone's like, I'm leaving, and you're like, but what happened? And you're like, I came here for you. Like, you're the reason why I came here. now I
It's
have
the same
to
thing
like,
as a client. I
like,
mean,
I don't want to deal with this person that now like you put, but I came here to be with you. This happened to me.
This is where, so it's hard because you're in a different phase of your business than where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
So
how long has Wise been open, or your agency? You said 2014, right?
Since 2014. So
Okay.
it's been 11 years since I've owned my own agency. But I will be honest, I didn't really go ham until 2020.
Okay, so the last 5.
I found that I'm very motivated. We're having a business partner because I don't want to let them down. So
so that's when you partnered with Kim.
it's 2020, yeah.
2020.
And that's when we just went
Interesting.
ham.
Right.
And then I was like, cool. And now I'm even going more crazy. But the thing is like, the partnership is not just about you, it's about the team. It's about the team that you put together to help support them. So for example, I used to handle all our contracting. They got a lot. So then I have a admin who handles it now.
That's the worst part.
But people are like, oh, I don't want to handle, I just want to deal with Emily. Well, you're not going to get a response from me because I'm going to go to Wise. All I'm going to do is forward your email to my contract team. They're going to give me what I need, and then I'll tell you something. But for the most part, unless it's an issue, you just tell people how you want to do business. You set the expectations.
Set the expectations, absolutely.
So we just hired on a director of agency growth, and he's going to be.
How's he doing?
He's good. He's really good. He's in Omaha, and he's great. And he has a lot of industry knowledge. The great thing is I'm helping him grow as well as an individual too in this space. But he's very knowledgeable and very good. But he's never done ACA before. He's not done group health before. So I'm having to really challenge him on that, and he's accepted the challenge. And he is a guy that will do whatever it takes. So in our agency, I expect excellence at all times. And if we do not, if my team does not, or our team does not perform, we're gonna fix it because I want that quality to be there. So, and sometimes sometimes I'm at the mercy of other people and the quality suffers, but I'm gonna do whatever it takes. So our agency thrives on, we have to do whatever it takes. But going back to your question,
people don't like that.
When people want to leave, what was your question, right? When people want to leave because they want you and you're not available anymore?
Yeah. Like I lost someone that said, well, I came to this agency because of you, to be with you, and that's who I wanted to deal with.
But what is it about you that they wanted? Because that'd be my follow-up question. What is it that you wanted from me? Well, I just like the way you train. Great, my trainings are still there. So what else is it? Well, I want you to answer my phone call. Okay, then you know what? It's okay if people leave. It's fine. It's not personal. If they need to leave because, but let's be honest. I know of another agency owner here, and if she sees it, she's gonna laugh. She's gone through the same thing, and I said it's okay. Let them leave. If the idea that you're gonna talk to this agency owner all the time is unrealistic when you know they want to grow their business. How am I gonna grow my business?
How am I going to help you at the expense of my business?
Yeah, there you go. Like, how am I going to help you grow? You should want my team to expand because that means you're going to have more opportunities, more tools. So maybe it maybe just be a messaging thing that you have to say, hey, look, this is my vision for my agency. This is what I'm planning on doing. You know, I really want to transform healthcare. That's something that's important to me. Does it make me billions of dollars? I don't know. Maybe one day. I don't know. But I want to transform the healthcare experience for people, and that's where I think health insurance, as agency, we're the start of that. We're the step one of accessing healthcare in America. True or true?
Yeah, it's true.
So I want to transform that experience, and a lot of that came last year when Kim's dad was, struggling, and he actually eventually passed away. The last day of AB, it was terrible.
Last year? The last day of AB?
December 7th.
My dad passed away October 15th.
Last year?
21.
Oh, I was like,
2021, but like
I don't remember this.
The first day of AP.
No, it's terrible. But watching her family go through this experience in the hospitals and language barriers and multiple people trying to manage care and be a great advocate when you're emotionally drained because you're losing your loved one. And the healthcare system not doing whatever it takes pissed me off. Honestly, it did.
And that's because Kim is someone that is really knowledgeable in
well, just because you're knowledgeable in insurance doesn't mean you know how to hold people accountable in the healthcare space when you're just going off these trusted
But
people.
you know the expectations of the coverage at least. There's people that don't even know.
Oh yeah.
Like Like,
so I want to transform that. I want to transform that whole experience. I care that people can access quality care. And I'll say this, people think it's an American problem. No, it's a worldwide problem. Healthcare in other countries is not great. They're like, oh, it seems great because it's free. No, it's tax paid.
Right.
It's not free.
And so one thing you didn't even talk about is your NABIP involvement.
Yeah, so advocacy. So that's another thing that I think agencies should be doing is how are you advocating for the industry? You know, we have a lot of volatility in the market with not paying commissions. Agents are scared. I mean, if you think about it in Washington, United Healthcare got rid of all the PPO renewals. Can you imagine losing your entire renewal? Like, what would you do? There's agents that would not be able to have a business anymore. And that's like a shocking thing. It wasn't like FMOs knew that was going to happen. That was just overnight kind of thing. So I think it's important to have advocacy for your industry so that you know where it's headed, where to go. Not just advocacy for the consumers, but also for the agents, because how the agents are treated dictates how the information and what plans are available to the consumers. And we do a lot on our side. We have a care team in-house on our internal sales side, and that's really helped with our Vietnamese clients, our Spanish clients. So I think the thing is that I am part of NABIP. I'm our Houston chapter president till July, because you don't have a 1-year term. But I am on the individual working group.
Re-elect?
No, there's a succession plan there, so that's good. Good. But the thing is that I'm also on the individual working group. So we're trying to work with policies that are coming out about ACA, trying to figure out ways to help educate CMS, and also give them guidance on policies. Now, there's going to be people who are solely focused on sales that are like, advocacy is a waste of time, like it's slow moving, like what are you going to do? Well, that's fine. You don't have to do it as an upline, but I'm going to do it because it's important for me to keep our agents' business rolling.
Right.
And if I don't talk about it to my agents, they're not going to get it.
Absolutely.
No. And also too, like I invite our agents to different events. So like Medicareans is a good event. Medicare Con is a great event as well. And I invited my agents to come so that they can learn. They already knew all that stuff because I tell them
You've been talking about it.
But funny enough, they'll talk to other agents and they're like, this is like the first time they're hearing about it. One of my internal sales team members, they went to a broker rollout for a carrier here, and agents, it's like the first time they were hearing all these things. And my agents are like, this has been going on since like June. What are you talking about? So the standard, going back to it, the agent, when you're looking for an upline, it's like, well, who's advocating for your industry? Maybe they might be a good place.
Who's knowledgeable? Who's involved? Who's researching?
Who's involved? Who's got technology? Who's got training? Who's going to help you level up? Who's going to take you to the finish line? That is who you need to be aligned with.
Absolutely.
Like Wise Partners.
Absolutely. Well, Emily, we're going to do this more often, right? You're going to come back. We're going to talk about different things.
Once a month.
Ooh, I like it. Okay. If can we maybe gather some questions from people that maybe want to ask you specific questions? Yeah. You know, that'd be really good as well.
If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you.
We'll do like an Ask Me Anything session where we just read questions.
Ask Me Anything professional.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to time you because we got to get through several questions. I'm gonna time you like.
We've been talking an hour already.
An hour and 7 minutes. Yeah. But thank you for hanging out. Like one of the best things about this industry really is some of the real friendship. I mean, I know, people think, sometimes you think someone's your friend and they're not, but like some of the relationships that you build in this industry are like the most valuable things. And honestly,
your network is important.
I feel pretty, it's exciting to call you my friend.
Yes.
I won't get too emotional because I know. But yeah, thank you for hanging out with me and talking about this.
Coming and talking about stuff.
And let's do it more.
Probably gonna have to like edit it to make it all flow correctly.
Yeah,
because we will.
We will. Yeah, and probably like summarize some things like when I lost my train of thought. And
but it's okay. Also, it's okay to have mistakes too, or for things to just authentically flow, right? Because it's conversational, which is what your fact find should be, by the way. And that'll be what we talk about next time.
Okay, let's do it.